Hello and welcome to Quickcrop. Today I'm going to show you how to plant seedling plug plants. Now you can grow your own seedling plants at home, but if you haven't got the time or the space or simply can't be bothered, you can allow us to do them for you. Quickcrop seedlings are ordered on our website using our unique Choose Your Own Plant tool, where you drag and drop plants into a virtual tray, which then arrive at your door in a real live one, just like this. Before you plant your seedlings, give them a good water. This means that the compost will hold together better when you remove them from the plant tray. It's the end of April now in Ireland, which is about perfect to plant a broad variety of vegetable crops. Now, last autumn I prepared this bed with a thick mulch of EnviroGrind, well-rotted farmyard manure and seaweed, so it should be ready to plant into. And we could see by the amount of young earthworms in it that we have a good, healthy soil. Okay, so let's get planting. If your soil is good and crumbly, you don't need to dig a very big hole. I'm using a nice narrow stainless steel transplanting trowel from our Bergen and Bull range, but if your soil is more compacted, you may need to use a tool like the excellent Canterbury fork hoe. I like to make it easy on my plants and get them off to a head start, and I found that this living green worm cast compost is excellent for stimulating healthy root growth. So I'm just going to work in a little bit around the planting hole here. This soil is very fertile, so probably won't need it, but if you're planting heavy feeders or your soil does need a bit of a boost, these sea mungus, seaweed and poultry manure pellets are very good. You get slow release nitrogen from the poultry manure and potassium and a whole host of trace elements from the seaweed to make a really nice balanced feed. Just work it in around the planting hole when you're putting your seedlings in, or you can use it as a top dressing later on. So how deep do we plant our seedlings? Well, most plants like this pea here will be planted up to the same level as the compost in the top of the plug. If you have brassicas, apart from kohlrabi, and they're a bit leggy like this kale plant here, we can plant it a bit deeper up to the first leaves and cover this stem part. And then the last one, lettuces, I would always plant a little bit proud of the ground, and that's to stop the tender stem here from rotting if you accidentally pile soil up around it. Okay, so we'll just pop the seedling out of the tray. We give it a little bit of a squeeze at the bottom just to remove the plant. Now, the advantage of growing in a modular tray is minimal root disturbance when the plant is planted out. We can see the little seedling here with brilliant roots, all ready to be planted out in its new home. Place the seedling in the hole and firm the soil in around the roots, pushing in towards the plant like this to obtain a good seal. This is important to make sure the plant can receive moisture from the surrounding soil. Resist the urge to push down around the plant like that, as this can compact the soil, especially if you have a heavy clay, and stop moisture getting down easily to the roots. I can never remember my plant spacing distances and always have to go running for the reference book, so when we saw these plant spacing rulers for sale, we knew that we had to stock them. It shows all my planting distances of common vegetables along the front of it here, and is a good long rule to cover even the widest planting distance. Watering is important in the first week or so before the roots have had a chance to grow into the surrounding soil. Don't overdo it, but make sure that the soil is kept good and moist. Remember, slugs and snails are just as interested in your newly planted seedlings as you are, so it makes sense to take some precautions in the beginning. Now, I don't like using standard slug baits because they're harmful to pets and wildlife, and I use this organic growing success slug bait. It's very effective, but it also just naturally breaks down in the soil to produce iron and phosphate, which actually benefits your plants. The other method is to trap your slugs. We use these Slug X beer traps and find them really good, and they last a long time in the garden. The other important thing, of course, is to test your beer. Slugs are going to love that, and just pour it into the spaces provided and put on the lid. The other advantage of the Slug X is that it doesn't take very much beer to fill it, leaving you the rest to sit back and admire all your hard work. Don't forget that everything that you see in the video, apart from me and the beer, are available on our websites quickcrop.ie and quickcrop.co.uk.